Hi, this is Stan, and I have a question for you. At this Advent time, have you ever thought about, would you like to be touched by an angel? Yeah, that's right. Touched by an angel. Greetings, my friend. This is Stan once again, Stan Houston, with some conversations about interesting ideas. Well, this is the time, the Advent time, the Christmas times, even the Festival of Lights time. And it is the season of comfort and joy, celebration, of lots of things to do. But Advent is also a time of waiting. That's what it means. Wait. Waiting. And it can also be, as I've discovered, a time of just plain being tired with life and business and everything, end of the year. A sense of weariness is often a part of who we are and what we do. Yeah, we're weary. We're waiting. We're weary. We might even be worried. And we're saying, What I would like to do is see if we can introduce maybe a sense of wonder. A sense of wonder into the waiting, the weary, and the worry. Many years ago, I watched a TV program along with many of you, and it became one of my favorites. It was called Touched by an Angel. And it was a story of people who were weary, waiting, worried, scared, afraid, in trouble. And they were touched by an angel. Now, there were kind of a gang of three in the angel set that appeared. First of all, Della Reese, what a wonderful actress, portrayed the kind of the godfather angel, the one who was kind of running things and calling the shots. Showed up occasionally and kind of gave the instructions and directions. Rona Downey played the real major angel. She was the one who, when the light broke out, she was the one who would step in and do the touching, the leading, the miracle working, the healing. She was the angel that most people in the story saw from time to time. And then there was a man named John Dye, interestingly enough, a young man who played the Death Angel. John Dye played the Death Angel, but if you remember, the role was not the fierce black scene that might be. Whenever he showed up to usher a soul into heaven, he was usually dressed all in white, bright white, tucks and tails. And he was kind, and he was sweet, and he was gentle. And the Death Angel gently and quietly and calmly would lead people into the white light. That was a kind of a comforting image, comforting scene. So those were the three angel characters. And you can still go back and watch many of those stories. They were heart-touching. And many years ago, as I remembered that, I oftentimes said, I wonder what it would be like to really be touched by an angel. I'd like to be touched. That would be nice. You're going along, all of a sudden you see the light and there's God's messenger coming right to me. Boy, I would like that. That would be nice. And so I said, I wonder what it would be like to be touched by an angel. Well, it kind of came to me as I was going through one of my, this is an old copy of one of the first modern translations by a man named J.B. Phillips called The New Testament in Modern English, and you see my copy is old and worn. But when I read it, three things hit me in particular that are different from some of the translations, but they were so unique and powerful. And so I'd like to share that with you. What would it be like to be touched by an angel? All of a sudden, in the time and place and space An angel showed up to a man named Zechariah, an old man like me, an old man with expectations, most of them not met, hard work, goals that still you have, and aspirations you still have, and responsibilities you still have, but just a lot of disappointments in life too, and wondering, what was life going to be like for me? Why didn't some of the things happen that I wanted to have happened, and what's going to be with me? And the angel shows up in the midst of his responsibilities as a old man and as a priest and says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because he was. No. God has heard your prayers. God has heard your prayers, Zechariah. All those things you've been thinking about and wanting and talking about, maybe even complaining about, God has heard them. Zechariah, God listens to you. You are listened to. Did you know that? And guess what? Guess what? Good things are going to happen to you. Well, I can't believe that. Zechariah, shut up. And you will. But remember, we came and we've told you that your prayers have been heard. You've been listened to. And something will happen. Something good will happen. Pay attention. Wow. So when the angel shows up, we're told that, hey, your prayers have been heard. God listens to you. Pays attention to you. Yeah, that's nice to know. When I pray, something happens. When I pray, something happens. And one of the things that happens is God hears my prayer. Wow. Boom. Scene 2. Not an old man, but a young girl. Not even a woman yet, really. To Mary. Poor, poor girl. She's promised to some man to be married. It wasn't her choice. Obviously chosen for her, but that's the way the world works. You know, you do what you're told to do. You do what you have to do. Mary, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God loves you dearly. That's right, Mary. You are loved. You are really loved. And Mary, you're special. You're special, Mary. And you know what, Mary? You have a special purpose in life. God is going to work through you, use you for some great and special purpose. You are special, Mary, and you have a special thing to do. Wow. Think about that. You know, my wife and I, when our children were small, we had a red plate. Maybe some of you had, and on their birthdays or something that was kind of special in their life, my wife would make sure that at the dinner table or maybe their breakfast table when they came, there was this big red plate and said, you are special today. You are special today. Wow. That's nice to know. And we would celebrate special days. I oftentimes in my business performance coaching would tell people that everybody they meet is wearing a secret sign. It's a sign. It's the unseen sign. Everybody's wearing it. Everybody. Your CEO, your colleagues, the boy bagging groceries, the janitor cleaning the floor. And you know what the sign says? The sign says, please tell me I'm important. Please, please tell me I'm important. And I used to say to them, read the sign. Read the sign occasionally. Everybody's wearing that sign. Please tell me I'm important. And the angel said, Mary, you're important. You really are. You're special, Mary. And you're deeply and dearly loved. What wonder. You know Angel 3. There's not one of them. The whole gang of angels shows up. And who do they show up to? Shepherds. Shepherds? I oftentimes work within the Western tradition coming from Arizona, and I said, in effect, the shepherds weren't like the ranchers, the guy who owns the flocks and the animals and the cattle and the sheep and the lambs. No, they're back home. They're back at the ranch, enjoying a good night's rest. It's the cowboys. It's the cowboys. It's the shepherds who are out there in the middle of the night, perhaps birthing season, protecting from the wildlife that want to attack sheep. And sheep are dumb. They wander off. They get lost. You got to take care of them. It wasn't a job that anybody really wanted, but it had to be done. And there they are. And all of a sudden, the sky explodes with angels. And they're afraid. Of course, so they get the same words again. Don't be afraid. Angels say that a lot. Don't be afraid. It points out something special has happened to them. God's with you. God's with you. And by the way, guess what? You're the first to know. Wow. The first evangelists were not pastors, preachers, or prophets who had theological degrees. No, the first evangelists were shepherds. Silly shepherds. Probably couldn't read or write. But they went and they responded to the good news. We get the stable scene wrong. The wise men didn't show up that night. They showed up much later. 3 wise astrologers, probably from Iran, who finally make their way through the powers, structures of the world, and they're rich and famous. But being rich and famous and important, sometimes it's kind of hard to find the Christ child. It was the simple folks who could be there right away and very easy. If you're rich, sometimes it's hard to find God. But they did the job and they found the work, and we all know that story. So there we go. What does it mean to be touched by an angel? Well, let me ask you this question. What would it be like in our communities, in our families, in our places of work, if everybody knew that they were listened to, that they were heard? I one time had a compliment that I didn't deserve, and someone simply said to me, "Stan, I've never been listened to like you listened to me." I wish I lived that out more often. Wouldn't it be nice if everybody knew in the organizations and the churches that you are deeply and dearly loved and you're special? We give you a special purpose in life. And wouldn't it be nice to know? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. God is with you. And later on, we're going to discover that because of what you do, God not only will be with you sometime, someday, He will even be deep inside of you. Oh my God, could that be true? Yes, it could be. There we go, my friends. Just some thoughts that try and encourage me and give me a sense of wonder. One of my great mentors simply said, "The response of God in our life is wonder." Ah, it truly is awesome. There we go. Angel shows up. Don't be afraid. You're listened to. Your prayers are heard. We know what you want. We know how you feel. You're deeply and dearly loved. And you're special. Hey guys, hey gals, in the midst of your hard work, you know what? We're with you. We're with you. You know what? It's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. God has come. And it's going to be okay. So don't be afraid. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your stories. Best and blessings to you, and may a sense of awe and wonder come to you at this Advent Christmas time. Best and blessings.